What's going on, guys? This is Brian with MachineMasters.com, bringing you guys a third part of the Mixing Skyzoo series. Today, we're going to be talking about mixing a female vocalist's track in an R&B context. R&B kind of hip-hop, kind of really relaxed and swung kind of feel. This is the song Meadow of Trust. This is ghostwritten by Skyzoo. Skyzoo is actually not on this song at all, except for the little end outro TV skit. And the vocals are sung by Saba. So, without further ado, I'm going to just bring up this mix window, and I'm going to solo her voice, and I'll show you what it sounds like. Well, first I'll show you the entire song in context, and then I'll solo her voice, show you the before and after with the effects. Take a listen.
Each other's meadow of lust, meadow of lust, in a meadow of trust. You become my secret.
Okay, so you could see that there's a big difference as far as all of those examples went. We're going to be working with their voice in solo for now, and we're going to start off with just this first EQ that I put on here. As you guys know from the first two videos, I always cut out the low end of vocals. It gets rid of all the low end muddiness and cleans up any headphone bleed you might have. So that's always my go-to. You can see that I pushed it a little further up the frequency scale this time because it's a female voice. They don't have as much bass frequencies in their voice. And then the second thing I did on this EQ is I just boosted the 4K frequency. Usually on rap vocals, I like cutting around this area, somewhere around this area, because it puts out like sort of a piercing kind of screeching kind of tone. But in this case, without this, her vocal sounded really dull, really dry. I added this to bring out some more airy kind of effects, push a lot of presence into her voice. And usually I would have this additive part of the EQ on a whole separate EQ, but since I usually don't like this frequency very much, I wanted it to be compressed, which is the second part of my signal chain, so I just included it in the first EQ. So take a listen before and after with the EQ.
Luminous breaks in the dark time, and I laugh as we go down, down, as we go down, down.
So you could hear a noticeable effect compared to some of the other EQs that I've shown you guys where everything's super subtle. Now the next thing I did is I brought in this compressor. This is my go-to compressor you guys saw at the past two videos. And the settings on this are pretty similar to what I would use on a rapper, but since it's a vocalist, I like to touch up with the attack time. Vocalists always have ranges of their dynamics. They have purposely like louder parts, and then they'll go quieter, they'll duck under the beat, something like that. So you don't want to squash all those dynamics by having a super fast attack. That's why, compared to having it at 0.5, for some rappers, well, most of the rappers that I work with, I brought it all the way up to maybe like 1.96 or something like that, maybe even 2. And that'll make sure that they still have those vocal dynamic ranges throughout the track and everything just doesn't get squashed too much. So let me play you before and after with this compressor.
Luminous breaks in the dark time, and I laugh as we go down, down, as we go down, down, down.
Now you can see that there's actually a big chunk of volume being kicked out of those, but those are mainly on her hard vocals, like her D syllables and things like that. So that's what I did for the compressor. Next up is this EQ, and as you could see, as far as frequencies, I didn't do anything at all. There's no this isn't even on, and even if it was on, nothing would be happening. The main reason I put this EQ on is to boost this output volume. So I didn't want to touch the fader at the time because all the faders were just flat, and I usually touch that up on the final mix. So that's the only reason I put this on. I'll play it before and after. It's a super self-explanatory sound. So just take a listen before and after.
Luminous sparks in the dark time, and the laugh as we go down.
Yeah, so no rocket science there. Now the next part are the time-based effects. These are what I believe are the most important aspects of an R&B mix. The first one is the reverb, and this is going to create depth throughout the mix and make it so that way her voice sits in the beat a lot better, because right now it kind of feels like it's not supposed to be there. It's not sitting in the mix very well. That's why this reverb, it'll push her back a little bit and make it sound like she's actually part of this band that's playing on a stage or whatnot. So take a listen before and after.
Luminous sparks in the dark time, and the laugh as we go down, down, as we go down, down.
So as you can see, it adds a lot of depth to the track, and this is being sent over to this auxiliary 1 track. This is my reverb bus, and I just have a stock Pro Tools plugin. It's called Deverb on there. Oh, loading up. There we go. Called Deverb. I actually like this plugin a lot. It's super simple to use. The layout's really easy, and that's one of my go-tos. Actually, I really like it compared to things like TrueVerb or RVerb or things like that. So the next thing that I did to just glue her vocal phrases together is I put a delay on here, and a delay is another thing that you'll probably hear on probably 80% R&B records you'll ever listen to, probably more than that actually. But I use a quick delay on this. I use Soundtoys Echo Boy. This is my favorite delay. And fun fact, I might be jinxing it every time I say it, but this is the third time recording this video because this keeps crashing on me. So hopefully this time it'll work. But I'm going to play this for you before and after with her voice soloed so you could hear what exactly that delay does. Take a listen.
Luminous sparks in the dark time, and the laugh as we go down, down, as we go down, down.
So as you can see, it's a short delay, not a lot of feedback on it, and the purpose of that is just to connect those vocal phrases. Her empty spaces aren't long at all, so there's no need for crazy long feedback. That'll just end up muddying everything up, and you'll have to go in with automation and insert where the delay is going to be turned on and off and things like that. So that's really the mix for her voice. This is a double up. I just use the same effects. It's a little kind of impromptu harmony thing that's being done at the end of it. So yeah, that's how I mix this track with Saba's voice, Meadow of Trust. I'm going to play this out for you guys so you guys can listen to it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you guys.